Welcome back to This Week in Video Games, to another Destiny 2 guide. And this video I'm going to show you how to get Bastion, the new exotic fusion rifle released in Destiny 2. So Bastion has been finally released in Destiny 2 and it's a new exotic kinetic fusion rifle, and it's now available for all players who have the season pass for Season of Dawn. But getting the weapon is only half the story, as over the past week the Destiny community came together to solve one of the biggest puzzles in the history of the franchise. So the following is a walkthrough for all the quest steps for how to get Bastion. So Bastion is a unique fusion rifle that fires 3 slugs. It's got multiple bullets in each slug. So this is a unique kinetic fusion rifle, and you have to be a season pass holder to get hold of this gun. So how do you get it? Well, first of all, to be able to access this quest, you have to have completed the quest where you first meet and then save Saint 14, called an impossible task and completing an impossible task, and you can pick those up from Osiris on Mercury. And if you haven't done them yet, I've also got videos for those here. So once you've completed these quests, go and speak to Saint 14 in the tower and pick up the quest. So initially this was unlocked early, as Bastion was originally slated for the 28th of January 2020. However, a huge and complex puzzle was solved in the community, and there's more on that later, and that opened up the Bastion quest to everyone. So first up, you want to pick up the Memento quest from Saint 14. So as I said, on the 21st of January you can pick up Memento from Saint 14. Go to the tower, into the hangar, speak to Saint 14 and get the quest. And then the first step of the quest is to speak to Saint 14 again. So for the next step of the quest, you need to kill fallen captains on the Tangled Shore to gather fallen intel. So the best way to do this is to arrive in Thieves' Landing on the Tangled Shore, then go on the other side of the area, past the servitor and into the area where you enter the Hollowed Lair Strike. Go down, you'll find a fallen captain there, kill him and then go back up and out, and you'll see a text prompt saying Thieves' Landing. Once you see this, turn back around again, go and kill the captain because he would have respawned, then just do this a few more times until you complete this step of the quest. So next up is Lost Connection. So for this step, go and speak to the spider in the Tangled Shore. So he's hanging out in Thieves' Landing in his normal lair, so go and see the spider and see what he has to say. Next up, it's Backroom Brawl. So once you've spoken to the spider, he'll send you into the lost sector called Empty Tank. So this is also in Thieves' Landing, so you don't have to travel too far. Work your way through the lost sector, kill the boss at the end, and once you've killed the guy, go back and see the spider. So next up, it's a Strong Arm. So the spider is going to send you out to kill 30 challenging enemies. You want to complete 10 spider bounties and 8 public events. So you're going to need ghost fragments for the spider bounties, but if you don't have a stash of these, then don't worry, you'll get them by completing the public events, which you're going to be doing anyway. So if you complete a heroic public event, then you get 2 points compared to 1, so that's going to halve your time doing public events. And the longest part of this is most likely going to be the spider bounties. So pick up the 4 daily bounties, and these can be done relatively easily and quickly. For the others, I picked up all the ones on the EDZ in the lost sectors, so what you can do here is check the bounty details to find out where you have to hunt the enemies, and it will give you a name of the lost sector. So on the director, if you go to the EDZ or any planet and then hover over a lost sector, allowing you to easily find what you need. So once you've done all that, next up it's Rude Awakening. So for this step of the quest, you've got to find a grave site in a lost sector called Trapper's Cave. So just after you go around the corner with all the Cabal coming at you, you'll see a waterfall to the left. So jump over there, go down, step just to the right of the waterfall and you'll find that grave site. And you want to inspect it to complete that step of the quest. And you'll see a blue glow where you need to interact, so keep an eye out for that. And next up is Altered Chief. So the next step of the quest is killing a specific enemy in the Hollowed Lair Strike. He's right at the end and he's called Raisk, the Waning Light. So when you get to the boss at the end, he spawns about halfway through the fight. Kill him and then it's time to go back to the tower. So for the final step of the quest, go back to the tower, speak to Saint 14 and he'll give you Bastion. So Bastion is pretty fun and unique, however there are some other fusion rifles that are probably more deadly. So it's got hammer forged rifling, liquid coils and composite stock as the standard perks. The intrinsic perk here is Saint's Fists, so you charge to fire 3 spreads of kinetic slugs, and the trait perk is Breakthrough, and a portion of this weapon's damage bypasses elemental shield, so it's pretty nice. Saint's Fists allows the weapon to shoot 3 slugs of multiple bullets, and they're pretty strong and can stop supers in their tracks in PvP. However, this weapon doesn't do precision damage, In PvE it's good, but there are other exotic kinetic weapons that probably would be a better choice. In PvP it's pretty strong, but it's got a decent delay on it, so if you're going to use it, you're going to have to use good timing. Again, it's okay, but it's not amazing. Getting the weapon, however, is only half the story. How this weapon came about was really cool, and one of the most complicated puzzles Destiny has ever seen, and there has been a few. So let's have a look at how the quest for this was introduced. So to talk about where this came from, we've got to talk about the Corridors of Time puzzle. And this all started on Tuesday the 14th of January when a new quest exploring the Corridors of Time was added to Destiny 2. To start off, we had to go and see Osiris, pick up the quest, and then start running through the Corridors of Time. But it soon became apparent that all the doors in the Corridors of Time were open, and you could simply keep going infinitely if you didn't know where you were going. So we've done the Impossible Task quest and completing the Impossible Task quest, and it was really obvious where you had to go and what you had to do in the Corridors of Time. But here, all the doors are open, so you could literally be running for hours and hours and not find anything. So then we noticed that the obelisks had codes on them on the planet. So for example, I was on the Tangled Shore and you could see the codes on the obelisk, and these were actually changing each hour. What we did, we used these codes on the obelisks to run through the Corridors of Time in the right sequence. As you can see, the symbols on the obelisk matched up to the symbols in the Corridors of Time. So by using the code on the obelisk, starting about 2 o'clock, reading round, and then the one in the middle, we actually had a code, and that led us to a tomb at the end of the Corridors of Time. So this tomb room had a grave, a ghost, and a sword in it. So also in the tomb room there was a transparent floor, and when standing on the floor there were 3 question marks. They were revealed, and by interacting with this, new lore was opened up called the Pigeon and the Phoenix. You can check out the whole story of the Pigeon and the Phoenix. I'll link that down in the description down below. So once we had one lore piece, we could teleport back to the start and then enter a new code as time went by. So the lore had 19 parts to it, and over the next 19 hours these new lore pieces opened up until we had all 19 pieces. So these 19 pieces were put together in the form of a new map, and this led us on to phase 2 of the puzzle. So on forming the new map with these 19 pieces and then making our way through this new map, at the end we found an emblem and access to reveal a new code. And this code was seemingly unique, or nearly unique, as thousands and thousands of codes were starting to get uncovered. The community then aggregated this data into huge spreadsheets, forming a huge new map out of the individual Guardian hexagons. And this was a massive community effort with players all getting together, raid secrets, streamers, players, Guardians from all over the planet had been working together, aggregating the data and slowly putting together this map. And eventually the map was put together and we got something like this. So the huge new map revealed a 30 symbol code which had to be input into the Corridors of Time perfectly, and here it is, and you can read it from left to right. And this all led to us finding out it was our grave in this timeline, and Saint 14 was giving a speech saying how we were his mentor and we were buried with our favourite weapon, and this opened up the quest for Bastion early. So countless hours by multiple Guardians were put into this quest and solving the puzzle. It was huge in scale and complexity, however the result has been divisive. So as the puzzle went on, expectations were raised as to what the reward could be. So everyone thought we'd get an exotic sword, as the sword was on the tomb in the Corridors of Time. So ideas ranged from Dark Drinker, Raise Lighter, even Galahorn and Vex Mythoclast. Only a few thought it was going to be Bastion, and when it was discovered there was a huge outpour of frustration from the community. So personally, I think Bungie is in a bit of a tough spot. They put together one of the best puzzles we've seen in Destiny. Perhaps the problem here was Bastion was called out on the roadmap. You know, Whisper of the Worm appeared in Destiny 2 without a mention on the roadmap, and it was accompanied by a very cool timed mission. So as Bastion was called out on the roadmap from the 28th of January, folks thought something else would be the reward. There's a feeling in the community that the effort put into solving the puzzle didn't quite match the reward. However, I was really into the puzzle. I got all the lore, I got the emblem and submitted a puzzle piece. Okay, so I didn't play a huge part in solving the puzzle, but I really did enjoy watching others come together, working hard, solve it. I got into some streamers that I haven't got into before. I discovered kind of new content, new people, and I thought it was really fun. It would have been good if more was in the game though. So for example, if you're not on social media or Reddit, then it's unlikely you probably would have heard of this. So perhaps there could have been some indication in the tower that this puzzle was going on and maybe community progress, or there was a way to submit your kind of puzzle piece through the game. That would have been really cool. Overall, I really enjoyed the puzzle, and I think these secrets in Destiny really make Destiny stand out from other games. The way that we had to gather thousands and thousands of pieces for this puzzle, I mean, just look at this map, it's crazy. The fact that people came together, worked together to build this map, even if the reward wasn't worth it, the effort that goes into something like this, I thought was really, really fun. But what did you think of the Corridors of Time puzzle? Did you think it was a great community activity, or did you feel locked out by the nature of the puzzle? Would you like to see more of this in Destiny 2, or do you think Bungie was wide of the mark this time? And finally, what do you think of Bastion? Let me know down in the comments. Well, that's it for this guide on how to get Bastion, the new exotic fusion rifle in Destiny 2, and thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. And if you want to be notified the next time I upload, then hit that bell button too. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, then liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out these other videos on the channel. Thanks again, I'll see you soon.